Anything I can do to help? Sure, what did you have in mind? Here's the deal. This guy named Dylan placed a dreg order with me. But instead of him picking it up, he wants me to deliver it to him, up at the Talos Shrine in Valkyrie. Seems kinda sketchy to me. And I've heard those Talos Shrines, well, that they're crawling with Thalmor agents. Do you mind checking it out for me? Cool, I'll mark the location on your map. Incoming.
Help me! Help!
Okay, here's how this works. Try to assassinate me and I'll kill you. Remind me not to make it. Oh, hello. You looking for a handout or something? Careful.
You're on my turn now.
That looks like it's the last
Done
one.
and done.
Thought I heard something.
Very. I've been trying to learn.
You're not afraid of a little kid, are you?
You do realize there's only one way this can end. Wait, the first one won't be the last. Now let's get this over with. Stop hiding, coward. I'll make it quick, I
Come
promise.
on, this is
That's the end
longer
of
than the
that.
other ones. Even that.
The anticipation is killing me. think you can take me? You so much as touch me and you're going to lose them.
Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Hi there. Need something? Uh-oh. You weren't supposed to find that. I hid it in the midden for a reason. Yes, you aim the spell at a high elf and hit them with it. They'll flee in terror for about 15 seconds, drop their gear, and then start beating the ever-living crap out of each other until they die. Yes, that's the basic idea. The Thalmor actively monitored the Talos shrines around Skyrim to root out worshippers, so we figured that was the best place to start. Well, yes. As much as I'd like to, it's not possible to develop a spell that targets political affiliation. Racial profiling is the only way to make the spell work against the intended targets. Well, first of all, in case you haven't noticed, pretty much everybody in Skyrim is completely racist. And that's regardless of what race you are. Second, the spell doesn't work on dark elves or wood elves. It only targets high elves. And third, we're not using the spell against peaceful high elves. We're only using it to kill Thalmor, who also happen to be high elves. Just because something has the potential to be used in a racist way, doesn't mean it will. You wouldn't ban swords because someone can decide to use them only against orcs. Look, people are responsible for their own actions. And at the end of the day, spells don't kill people. People do. Why do you think I hid the spell tome in the midden, genius? Unfortunately, there's no such thing as a non-violent revolution. The Thalmor have made their views on racial superiority clear. They want to either enslave or wipe out mankind, and occupying Skyrim is the first step towards achieving that end. I'd be all for a less radical approach, but not if it means that we continue postponing a solution to the Thalmor problem just to avoid violence. When the acts we're committing are ultimately in self-defense, I don't even call it violence. I call it intelligence. We've tried reaching out to non-Thalmor leaders in the High Elf community, but the response is always the same. The Thalmor are extremists and don't represent the views of the majority of peaceful High Elves. And then they do nothing to police their own community. Look, ElfBane may not be the perfect solution, but at a minimum, it gives peaceful High Elves a stronger incentive to start standing up to the Thalmor. Simple, to drive the Thalmor out of Skyrim by any means necessary. If you want to drive out an occupying army, you have to raise the costs of the occupation to an unacceptable level. Well, you are the Dragonborn. If you're willing to aid our cause, I'm not gonna say no. Of course. I'll mark the locations on your map. It's pretty simple. Head to a Talos shrine, make a bit of noise, and wait for the Thalmor to show up. When they do, use the ElfBane spell, and then watch them beat each other to death. No, I need to find a safer place to hide out. If you were able to find me, the Thalmor won't be far behind. This will be the last time we speak. I hope you'll do the right thing, friend.
Is there something I can do for you? Be careful. have so very many ways to deal with people.
Nothing personal. Rude.
Could have turned out better. This is going to be great. Nobody wants to have any fun.
We all just get along.
This is my chance. Even few are worth it.
Are you gonna do something? This damn it. That was
Speaking of
fun.
harsh.
We should do it again sometime.
Vampire hunters or something in the old fort near Riften. Might consider joining up myself.
You there. The Dawn Guard is looking for anyone willing to fight against the growing vampire menace. What do you say?
We haven't taken a side because it's not our fight.
That's what everybody says. Right up until they find their throat being
Imperial
ripped
spies.
out by a pack of hungry
Imperial
vampires.
spies? You can't be serious.
Maybe we'll pay you a visit tonight, little
Yes?
son. We got ways of finding out what you really are.
Do you hate the Dark Elves? Are you here to bully us and tell us to leave? You've come to the wrong city, then. Windhelm's a haven of prejudice and narrow thinking, unworthy of one such as you. Safe travels.
Every night, I walk around the Grey Quarter and let them grayskins know what I think of them.
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything. I think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
What do you need?
Hi there. Need something? I appreciate you coming here. Like I mentioned in the note, I understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. I just need you to hear me out. There's some shit going on with the elves right now. It's like a civil war between elves, and there's two sides. There's elves, and there's Thalmor. And the Thalmor have got to go. So, let me ask you something. Who do you think is more racist? Elves or humans? Elves. You know why? Because we hate the Thalmor too. Everything humans don't like about Thalmor, elves really don't like about Thalmor. Every time elves want to have a good time, some ignorant ass Thalmor comes along and fucks it up. Well, you can't keep a non-denominational religious shrine in Skyrim open for more than 3 weeks. Can't go to a party with people of different faiths. Why? Because Thalmor are torturing the guests. What kind of ignorant shit is that? Hey, this is a cool party. This is so good, I gotta go torture somebody. Or when some innocent Talos worshipper ends up dead, and the guards are looking for the murderer. And you're thinking to yourself, please don't be a Thalmor, please don't be a Thalmor. And all your human friends are like, watch, I bet you it's a Thalmor. And when the murder gets solved, they say, ha, see, I told you it was a Thalmor. And then they ask me if I knew the guy. Like, what, just because I'm a High Elf, you think I automatically know all the other High Elves? By the 9, I'm tired of this shit. And you know what the worst thing is about the Thalmor? They always want credit for some shit they didn't do. Just ask a Thalmor a question. Any Thalmor. Hey, how did the Oblivion Crisis end? It was the Thalmor in the Crystal Tower, working their deep and subtle magics that saved us from extinction. No, it wasn't. Everyone knows the Oblivion Crisis ended when Martin's septum shattered the Amulet of Kings and became the Avatar of Akatosh, banishing Dagon back into Oblivion. But try telling that to a Thalmor. They brand you a heretic and they try to kill you. What's the world coming to when you can't even state a historical fact without fearing for your life? And don't get me wrong, I love elves. But I hate Thalmor. I don't have a problem with you killing Thalmor. It's the way you're going about it that's wrong. Think about it. If someone can develop a spell that targets only High Elves, and it becomes widely used, how long do you think it will be before a Thalmor wizard develops a spell that targets only humans?
Okay, just
And someone else makes a spell that only affects orcs, and then Argonians, and then Khajiit? You see where I'm going with
There's
this?
plenty more where that came from. Just give a holler.
Exactly. We're not talking about just the extinction of the Thalmor. I'm cool with that. If you continue down this path, ultimately it will end up killing everyone. For starters, stop using the ElfBane spell, and don't teach it to anyone else. Second, and this is the tricky part, you're going to need to hunt down and eliminate the people who are currently wielding ElfBane against the Thalmor. There are certain rules of warfare that must be respected, even by the most bitter of enemies, if either side is to survive. The only way to prevent this situation from escalating to catastrophe is to wipe out all knowledge of the ElfBane spell. Good to hear. I assume you've already got a list of the Talos shrines. Keep doing what you've been doing, except instead of just killing the Thalmor, also wipe out the fake worshippers who are using ElfBane. Good luck, my friend, and thank you for seeing the bigger picture.
thought I heard something. Get ready. You want another one of those? I'm a pirate, Steve. Assassination attempts are an opposition. Well, this is a nice mess you've gotten me into. Are you prepared? Die. Come on! And you thought I was just a pretty face. I'd say you're either brave or smart, but I can always tell. I'll kill you where you stand. You and I should spend some time together. Any fool can just flail about, swinging his weapon as fast as he can. Gotta find a way to put a stop to this. Splendid. Then we're ready to begin.
Not even death can save you from me. That's a
How
lot.
delightful.
Uh-oh. Here we go again. You talking to me?
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Every day.
I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Be careful.
What's up? So we went off on a tangent there, didn't we? You mean murder is the key to overcoming racism? I learned it by watching you. It's okay. Nobody's perfect. As long as you don't bring me to a strip club, it's all good. Now you're talking my language.
I do hope you know what you're doing with